you ever had a tavern for 50 years, everybody opinions are like something I won't repeat, but everybody has one. And so I learned fairly early on that you keep them largely to yourself, which clearly we've strayed from now. It became a necessity. So when people spoke out, I was always a little uncomfortable. It didn't happen much. But now it seems to be almost like, it almost seems like it's a duty for athletes to step out and make sure that everybody understands everything they're thinking. That's getting back to the cell phones and the posting and the messaging and all these things. Everybody needs to know what I'm thinking all the time. I don't know, it's a little uncomfortable for me, and I didn't have to experience it. Now, people have a right to. Back to the freedoms. I don't like what you say. I don't agree with what you say, but I agree that you have a right to say it. And I think that's a real huge, important distinction that we all need to understand and remember.
Yeah, we were focused on playing, winning, trying to get to that Super Bowl, trying to keep our jobs and coaches keeping their jobs. And the wonderful thing about that is, and I miss, part of what I miss about the locker room is you had a great diversity of, guys that were, married and had kids, guys that were young and just out of college. But, in fact, toward the end of my career, we have more in common with the coaches than I did with guys like Brett Favre, who were young and a gunslinging fun guy. But we, not a lot of politics, maybe a little bit. Like Reggie White was, he and I did some spoke out and did some speaking engagements on racial reconciliation and anti-race, but not to the level, not even close, because winning was the focus. And so just like in the military, when you have a mission, it brings people together, and different philosophical or political views divides people. I think coaches, would probably rather not have to deal with that if they're really focused on winning, because that seems more divisive within a team and a country for that matter. But again, if you want to speak out, and have that right to speak out, right? I don't have to like it, but man, like John said, I sure will fight for your right to say things that I don't agree with, because I think that's such an important constitutional or human right, an inalienable right beyond the civil rights.